Good morning, USD 399. Welcome to our meeting this morning, where we are going to be talking about the implementation of a school improvement plan here in our district, ways that we can continuously improve, questions that we can ask during this process. So the first thing I have is the continuous school improvement matrix. This is comprised of 7 areas in which we will be evaluating ourselves. And the first one comes in continuous improvement and evaluation. We will look at how we are evaluating, and if it is happening on a regular basis, and if it is happening as a collective body. Something that will not score us very well is if we are trying to improve or trying to use the data that we have inside of our classrooms individually rather than looking at the bigger picture and evaluating and analyzing data as an entity, as a school district. And we score well in this individual matrix by doing it collectively, and when it just becomes second nature that we need to evaluate the data and evaluate what the processes that we're doing to try to improve for our students. The next part to this matrix, the second part, is partnership development. This piece goes with the community and how involved we are in the community, and this matrix helps so that it is not just so that our school is not just in isolation, and students do not just equate learning in the school, but we have partnerships built within the community so that there are learning opportunities in the community, at the school, and even at home, where students will know that learning takes place in all different areas and walks of life and not just in a classroom. The third section is professional learning. Again, we don't want educators to be drawn to this buffet style of professional learning where you just pick and choose and all of it again is in isolation, and none of why it might be building you as an educator. If what will score us high on this continuum is if educators are picking and choosing, if we are picking and choosing as a district to gear our professional learning towards our goals as a district, and why we can't. And so when I say buffet style, I'm talking about looking at all of these professional development opportunities and just picking the ones that interest us, rather than picking the ones that will benefit us and help us towards our district classroom grade level goals. The next area on this continuum is leadership, and against evidence of moving to a higher score on this matrix involves making decisions within a leadership group or a leadership team. Basically, scoring high will mean the involvement of people, just the involvement of the staff within the district, rather than letting it all fall on just one person, making it a group effort. That way more opinions and views are brought into these leadership decisions, and it just makes for more effective management more effective crowd control, if I could even say that, where people, the people that are hearing the decisions know that this decision came down the pipe, per se, from a group, from a team, from the staff, whatever it might be. Because our district is so small, it might be whole group, it might be all staff members, all certified staff members, know that there is a shared decision making process involved in this leadership matrix. The next piece on the continuum is quality planning. And this, again, this goes hand in hand with the school improvement plan. We are working towards this in our KISA process right now. Our KISA team is meeting. We are trying to develop our 2 area goals, and we are trying to develop an action plan that meets each one of those goals. And they will be geared towards our vision for our school. They will be aligned with our mission statement. And again, this planning will work towards the betterment of our building. We will have a broad district goal and more specific building goals at the elementary building and at the junior high and high school building. And we will be looking to work towards continuous improvement through the completion of our action plan and our planning to get to those goals. Moving along in our continuum is the student achievement matrix. And this, again, this is geared towards student learning. This is geared towards the data that we select as a district that helps us move up the matrix. And we need to do a better job as a district by aligning, by having conversations about the data that we collect throughout our buildings. Right now, as you all know, we use FastBridge, and we need to use our collaboration time wisely to talk about the data that we see from there, and use our understanding of our students to drive decisions. We need to see evidence that the district climate is good. We need to see that attendance is high and that school classroom behaviors, student behaviors are good. Just to see that we are meeting the needs, that students are achieving at a high level in multiple areas of their lives, of their school lives, as we are molding them into better people. And then information and analysis. And this continuum, this matrix, just points us back to the data and points us back to what our reliance on the data needs to be. We're working towards collecting data for our new student in good standing report, and the work that data will have towards our KISA process, and how we will track our action plan towards our relationships and responsive culture target areas. And we will collect data for that program in the areas of office referrals. We will collect data for tardies. We will collect their report card data, any major or minor offenses, any financial damages, and really that's student incurred, so it would be like library book fines, anything that might be broken by the student, and take all of that data, put all of that data into a central location, and use that data to come up with our student in good standing. But just again, this matrix goes back to pointing us all to the data and using that to drive our decisions. So as we move forward, as we continue to improve, as we want our district to be bigger and better and more effective, and the students to love to learn, as we move towards this continuous improvement, here's some questions to consider. I have highlighted 3, especially through this KISA process, that we need to really hone in on. And we'll cover those in a little greater length. Really quick, going through: who are we? How do we do business? Where are we now? Why do we exist? Where do we want to be? What are the gaps and the root causes? How can we get to where we want to be? How will we implement? And how will we evaluate our efforts? So let's dive into these highlighted ones just a little bit. Where are we now? So we're wanting to kind of get a baseline, focus on where we're at, where do we perceive that we are, and what do our students know, and what do we want them to know, kind of that baseline, so that we can start to see growth. Where do we want to be? Okay, so this shows the goal. This shows the end goal. This data will provide us the drive, right? When we know where we're at and we know where we want to be, we won't stop until we get there, and we'll make our goals SMART goals. They will be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. And how we will implement, and then here we go back to this action plan. Okay, I'm going to hand out very soon a sample action plan that I got from KSDE that we will use to put in milestones, put in relevant data, and really develop that action plan. And not only will we talk about how we will implement the action plan, but we're going to talk about how we're going to monitor it, how we're going to evaluate it, and how we're going to just continually improve that data. I really thank you for attending this meeting. I hope that that our eyes are opened to the importance of continuously improving, using the data to drive our decisions, and just constantly and continuously being better for our students.